Welcome to the Secrets to Abundant Living podcast. Your guide on this journey is Amy Silvas. If you're ready for the secrets to an abundant life, hit that subscribe button now, and let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Secrets to Abundant Living podcast. I am your host, Amy Silvas, and I am so excited to welcome not one, but two guests today. So I'm going to go ahead and read his intro real quick, and then we've got another impromptu intro that I'm really excited for you all to meet. All right, so our guest today is Andy Storch. He is an author, a speaker, facilitator, and connector on a mission to teach and inspire more people to own their careers and be more intentional with life. Andy is the author of Own Your Own Career, Own Your Life, which is designed to help corporate professionals stop drifting and take control of their futures. In addition to his work in the career space, Andy's also the founder and host of the Talent Development Think Tank podcast, conference, and membership community, where he provides education and connections for ambitious, talented development professionals. Most importantly, Andy is a husband, father, and friend who's on a mission to get the absolute most out of life and inspire others to do the same. Wow. Andy, welcome so much, and welcome Lucy. Lucy, can you also introduce yourself?
Okay. Hi, I'm Lucy, and I moved from Orlando to Barcelona. I'm 10. Sorry, I forgot. I'm 10. I'm a cheerleader, an actor, and a cool person.
Oh my gosh. I love that.
And it brings me to the podcast that I'm Andy Storch's daughter and his manager, and I just like being on things.
I love it. You're a very important key to all of this. So we love to have you.
Yeah. And Amy, thank you. This is Andy. Amy, thank you so much for inviting me on the show and for that lovely introduction. I appreciate it. And for allowing my wonderful daughter, Lucy, to join.
Thank you for letting me be on the podcast.
Of course. Of course. You know, we're here talking about what it means to live an abundant life. And of course, having an amazing daughter, an amazing family, all of that plays a very key role. So do we have another third guest?
My son, Teddy, just in the room as well.
Hey, Ted.
Ted, you can say hi. Oh, you can say hi.
He's wearing a Mario shirt, which, oh my goodness, resonates with me tremendously. So great to meet you. But gosh, Andy, this is really special. We were talking before we got started that you and I met 16 years ago, I think, somewhere around there, when we were both in grad school at USC. And it's been really special to see what you're up to. And I thought your story, your journey, everything that you're working on could be such tremendous value to our community here.
Thank you so much. It's been quite a journey and adventure since then. I mean, everybody's on a journey with their careers and their lives. I feel like so much has happened, and I've overcome and achieved so much, and I love being able to share that with others. And of course, 16 years ago, we had so much fun in business school, but you know, I didn't have this girl with me back then. So life has gotten a lot better since then.
That's one of his biggest regrets. He didn't have me sooner.
Makes sense. Absolutely makes sense. I hear that a lot. So we all need more Lucys in our life. So I think that's so cool that you're here. Well, with your daughter on your lap, your amazing son that we just met, can you tell us how you define abundance in your life, Andy, just as a preview to what we're going to discuss? But I'd love for you to give us your definition of what that looks like.
You know, I think a lot about mindset when it comes to creating a life that you want, the happiness, success, fulfillment, that sort of thing. And as Lucy knows, I read a lot of Stoic wisdom and think a lot about mindset. She said, really boring. But there's three mindsets that I really think a lot about all the time. One is taking an ownership mindset, which I wrote about in my book and talk about in keynotes. The second is a growth mindset. But the third is living with a mindset of abundance. And what I try to remind myself, because I think we all naturally gravitate sometimes towards this idea of scarcity, that we have to protect what we have and live out of fear of losing the things that we have or of not achieving things, is this idea of abundance, that there is an unlimited amount of money, love, and success in the world, truly. And that if we just put ourselves out there and we're willing to share and support other people, then we can live in a more abundant life with more things coming our way. But I think it starts with trying to do whatever we can to help others and make the world a better place in whatever little way that is for us. It doesn't have to be like changing the entire world, but could just be, simply helping out a friend, holding the door open for someone, saying something nice to somebody. But I really try to give as much as I can with no expectations. And I find that it comes back to me often. What do you think?
Well, I think you forgot one more mindset. Mindset.
What's that?
So it's basically the mindset of positivity. And I'm really good at that because I'm always energetic and positive and I keep him positive because sometimes he gets sad. I'm always like, don't be sad. Don't be sad. I'm energetic. Don't be sad.
That's right. Mindset of positivity is a good one as well.
Incredible. Lucy, that's great. I'm sure other people around you feed off of your positivity, right? Like I'm imagining, I think you're in 4th grade. So maybe when someone's going through something, they look to you and they see how you overcome or how your mindset influences your life. And you're probably an incredible example to other people around you. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
We all do have an opportunity to help others by being a role model and trying to live modeling what we're trying to live. And then other people look to us all the time for that, right? So it doesn't matter how many quote unquote followers or friends we have. If you know 1 or 2 people, you can impact their lives positively.
That is so empowering thinking about that, because you're right. I think, we see people making a huge difference on a grand scale. And of course, that's amazing. But maybe for some that can feel like, oh gosh, I'm just Amy out here in LA. What could I possibly do? But we all encounter people. We can all give a smile, hold the door open, give an encouraging word, as you mentioned. I think that's incredibly powerful. I appreciate 100%. That reminder. Well, and given what you've been through, Andy, I'd love to dive into your story a bit. It's 2024. All of us remember 2020 and kind of what life was like. But for you, gosh, it seems like it was an extra difficult time. A lot of your clients went away. You were preparing to launch your book, which I see over your shoulder, Own Your Career, Own Your Life. And you were diagnosed with cancer. Yet you say life happens for us, not to us.
We've been through a lot of challenges in our family over here, and everybody goes through challenges for sure. But if I back it up a few years, when I really got into personal development, starting back in 2016, and I started really doing a lot of reflection and inner work. Yeah, you were alive then. Thinking about what I really wanted to do with my career and my life, and I started really being drawn towards this idea of entrepreneurship, and I wanted to run my own business around, using my strengths and things that I love doing. And I was doing so much work to create that. And I invested a lot in learning and in conferences and mastermind groups and things like that. And I started a podcast and then a conference. And I was really ambitiously building a business. And at that time, I was in a space where I was selling and running these leadership development programs, essentially. Yeah. And I hosted my first conference with a friend of mine back in January of 2020. And I had big plans for the business that year. And then 2 months later, of course, the pandemic hit. We all remember that. It impacted everybody around the world in different ways. Right. But my business was completely shut down and all my clients went away. And that was a really pivotal moment where I had an opportunity to put that mindset to work and think like, okay, this is definitely a big challenge, but what does this make possible? Yeah. And there were some opportunities that came out of that. And one of them was that I had been traveling a lot before and been away from my family. And now I got to be home with my wife and kids every day for many months, right? We were always together. And that was wonderful. And the other one was that I was working on this book, and it gave me more time to write and think about what I was going to do with it. Now, of course, one of my dreams with the book was to become a keynote speaker. And when the pandemic hit, I realized that was probably not going to happen for quite some time because speaking kind of went away for a while.
Kind of give you the opportunity to but it kind of gives you access to the opportunity because now everybody's at home. If you like the book, they have a lot of time to read it.
They have more time to read. That's right. So there were opportunities. And that's actually one of the tenets and one of the things I put in the book was that anytime you face a big challenge, there are 3 questions that we can always ask. One is, what's great about this? So like looking for the silver linings, like COVID, the pandemic allowed me to stay home with my family. Yeah. The second question is, what can I learn from this? Which is especially important when we are facing a challenge that comes from one of our own mistakes, which we all do, right? We make mistakes and then sometimes, okay, what can I at least learn from this to make it valuable for me? We didn't make a mistake there.
It was just I don't really know how you could learn from a disease.
Well, we can learn to be better prepared for, possibly events shutting down the world and shutting down our business, right? Putting the money aside or whatever. There's lessons that can come out of that because we never know what might be coming. And then the third question is, what does this make possible? Because sometimes these challenges create new opportunities. And so even before the pandemic, I faced a challenge in 2019 where I was organizing the first conference. It was planned to be in Santa Rosa, California. And that year, there was a big wildfire called the Kincaid wildfire that came into town. And our hotel was evacuated 1 week before our conference. And we were forced to basically postpone and reschedule this conference, send an email to 150 people and say, hey, we're postponing this. But what it made possible was we rescheduled it to January, and there were a few people that bought tickets that couldn't come, but there were also several people who couldn't make it in November who bought tickets to come in January. And some of those people have since become friends. They've become clients. They've become people that I talk with on a regular basis and never would have met them if it wasn't for the wildfire changing events. And so oftentimes I find that the challenges we face can create new opportunities for us. We just don't know what those are until, we need time to pass for a little bit. And then the last challenge that you mentioned, of course, was right when I was about to publish my book in November 2020, I had found out I had testicular cancer, and I had surgery 2 days after I published my book. And then I found out, as I was still in a lot of pain, I found out that the cancer had spread across my stomach and my neck and most of my body. And so, of course, doctors wanted me to do chemotherapy. I invested a lot of time and money into natural therapies, reading and learning as much as I could. Eventually did chemotherapy, but also decided to take ownership of that process and learn as much as I could and do everything I could to get myself healthy, because I didn't choose the situation. I don't know why it happened, but I was certainly going to make the best of it and make sure that I was around for a long time with my family. So we got through that tough time, and I'm completely healthy today. I'm very grateful for that. And I do believe that experience and every experience happened for me because it allowed me to create empathy for other people going through challenging situations, and gives me the opportunity to help other people who might be going through similar situations. So I've since created a document with that outlines my research, my experience, and my recommendations to give to people that might be going through cancer. And you can find that on my website at andystorch.com/cancer. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, Lucy, let us know.
Website for literally everything. And also, there is a challenge for me that's kind of not really a challenge for you. Is kind of moving here, because for you it was more of a choice. For me, I just was like,
that's true. Sometimes we have a choice, and so
the car, and you were just like driving, and I was the back, so I kind of just went. And the challenge basically was that now I'm here, I know no one, I don't speak the language, what is happening, whatever. And then, but at least and I have no friends, basically. But at least it brings an opportunity to not a lot of kids can say that they've been to out of the country, especially out of the continent. Now they live there. And it's an amazing opportunity, and I get to learn a bunch of languages, meet new people, learn about a lot of stuff.
Yeah, that's right. So for context, we moved 6 months ago from my hometown in Orlando to Barcelona, Spain. And we did discuss with the kids, but certainly they did not get to decide. And so that was the challenge that Lucy got, and she has handled it very, very well.
Incredible. Wow. Lucy, when you were mentioning the opportunities that this, move presented to you, I got goosebumps. I mean, that's really impressive that you're able to see, not only the challenges, right? Maybe not everything has been great, but you see some really cool opportunities. Gosh, I thought it was really exciting when I lived in Europe when I was 21. You're doing it at 10. You're learning a new language. You're learning all these skills. I mean, it's not like some random city. Barcelona is one of the most incredible cities in the world. So I'm really impressed with your ability to adopt such an impressive mindset. I don't know many adults that are able to see opportunities like you are. So truly, I'm really, really impressed with you.
And it's and also in the summer, I'm going to go back and see all of my friends, and it's going to be more fun because you haven't seen them for a year. So then you just see them, and then it's
there's absence makes the friendship and the heart grow fonder, right? As they say. Right. So it's not where you're seeing them all the time. You get to see them for the first time in a while, and it's incredibly exciting, something to look forward to. Have you ever thought about having multiple streams of income? Instead of relying on just one stream of income where you're trading your time for money, how would you like to free up more of your time and live a more abundant life? As a listener of the show, you're invited to attend one of our upcoming trainings where I'll give you an inside look into how you can add passive income and get all the other perks of recession-resistant real estate investing without the headaches of being a landlord. We'll also be sharing some hidden mistakes to avoid and the criteria I personally look for when evaluating potential investment opportunities. To reserve your seat for free, go to silvuscapital.com/webinar. Again, that special link to reserve your seat for free is silvuscapital.com/webinar. I look forward to seeing you on the training. And now back to the show. Not many people that I know of can take that mindset of whether it's the pandemic, being diagnosed with cancer, some of the other things that you've gone through, and really change it around to see, how is this working for me? I think that requires quite a bit of introspection and perspective shifting, but it's valuable.
It does, yeah, and you don't always see it in the moment. And I know that a lot of people are going through challenges right now. We're in a tough economy, and I see people getting laid off every week, and that's one of those things that happens that in the moment you think this is awful, and it's certainly a big challenge to deal with. But it also can create amazing opportunities to shift things in your career, maybe pursue a new opportunity you've been thinking about for a long time. Sometimes it leads to that dream job that you didn't know you could get because you were in the last one. I've seen that happen multiple times with people in the past. And so all I ask is that, you start to look for those opportunities and say, okay, I don't know why this is happening, but it's happening for me. And I'm going to do my best to turn this into an opportunity to learn as much as I can from it and to make this a blessing in my life, whatever it may be, or at least make the best of the situation. Because I mentioned earlier an ownership mindset. For me, that's about taking full responsibility for everything going on in your life, not blaming or complaining, about anybody else, but taking responsibility and focusing most of your energy on what's in your control. Something I talk to the kids a lot about as well. There's a lot of things in life that are outside of our control, like politics, the world economy, the weather, our boss, even our spouse, our kids.
He's taking me here.
Yes, me taking you here. Even our pets, right? We have a dog who has a mind of it.
He's really it's just, he's escape artist. He's super smart, but sometimes I left the cabinet open and then in the kitchen, and then I just walked in a couple minutes before this, and I walked in and he was inside of the cabinet looking at all the snacks and stuff.
Right. So we can't even control our pets. We can try to influence them with training and other things, right? But what we can control is how we respond to these events, how we show up, how we treat ourselves, how we treat other people. And so taking ownership is about really focusing on what are the things that are within your control and trying not to worry as much about the things that are outside of your control so that you can focus on how you're showing up for yourself, for your family, for your work, and making the best of that situation.
I kind of think that you're kind of on a path, I don't know, on a path, and then if you get if something bad happens to you, it's part of the plan. There's other, so that happened to you for a specific reason. So, and if you try to change why it happened and stuff, then it will just completely change the path. So then so maybe a good thing that was really gonna happen. I don't know, the place that you wanted to go to was really closed or something. But if the path, then you could go to an ice cream place instead. But if you tried to fix it, then or just sat there being or
just get mad at the place for being closed. It doesn't change anything, right?
To be able to get ice cream.
That's right.
Yeah, you think that this is something that you want, but whether you call it God or higher intelligence or spirit, whatever you say, there's actually a better thing waiting for you. And by fixating on that one thing you wanted, but it wasn't an opportunity, maybe you're missing out on the even better thing. Lucy, you're a rock star. This is incredible.
It's Back to the Future, when you go to the future and then they go to the past and then they save that lady, and then the future where the present is completely different.
That's right.
That's exactly right. Andy, I really resonate with your story. I think you may know, I don't know if our listeners know, but in November of 2019, a few months before the pandemic, I got a miracle drug for cystic fibrosis. And as you can imagine, being locked down just a few months later, when I finally got my freedom, I finally got my health back. COVID was not something I was going to mess with. And, I really had the opportunity to say, oh my gosh, I finally got my freedom. I finally got this miracle medication, and now the world's shut down. What the heck? Or Instead, I'm hermetically sealed in my house. What am I going to do with this time? I'm going to build this real estate business that I dreamed of for 10 years. And I finally have the time. Suddenly, everything is accessible to me via Zoom, where it wasn't before. I would have to travel all over and exhaust myself. Now it's just at my fingertips. And lo and behold, here we are 4 years later. So I don't say that to brag, but I just think, we really have a choice, as you mentioned, about we really can't change anything else other than ourselves. And if we're really open to seeing those opportunities, it's amazing what, our reticular activating system, to get a little nerdy there, may present to us.
No, that's really incredible. I mean, you went through so many challenges over the years and kept powering through that. And you finally got a solution and faced another challenging situation, a somewhat frustrating situation. But you're right. You can't change the pandemic. We all faced that, right? And you can't change something like that. All you can do is try to make the most of it. There were a lot of people that sat around and complained. We saw them on the internet, but for a lot of people, it was just a frustrating situation. And everybody's situation was different, right? And everybody's situation always is. We all come from different backgrounds, different upbringings. We have different challenges that we face. Some of us are, luckier than others with, how fortunate we've been with our lives, right?
Don't say that.
We all have the opportunity to make the best of the situation that we have and to take responsibility of that situation and do what we can to improve our lives.
I love that. So, Andy, I'd love to talk about a lot of the people listening to this podcast are in their career. They want to have more abundance in that respect. You help people take control and not just kind of ride this ride unintentionally. And we're running a little bit short on time, but I'd love to give maybe a nugget or two of advice that you have that you give to people, whether through your books or your keynotes, to really empower them on that journey.
Well, so many people, and this all started because I observed so many people really kind of drifting in their careers, operating in reaction mode, waiting for someone else to tell them what to do or where to go. And I kind of put that aside as I was doing work on myself to figure out what I really wanted to do with my career, as I mentioned earlier, starting back in 2016. And I did a lot of work to create the career and life that I love, and realized at some point I had some tools that maybe I could use to help others. And they don't necessarily need to become entrepreneurs, but I think everybody wants to be happy and fulfilled in their careers. And I think that starts with a foundation of self-awareness. And that usually starts with self-reflection. So something a lot of people don't make much time for that I often recommend is make some time for self-reflection. Sit down with a cup of coffee or tea in a quiet space with a notebook or a pen or a pencil. And Lucy knows I get up early every morning, usually do some meditation, some reading, and then I write in my journal.
He used to get up a lot earlier, but now it's kind of not as early.
Not as early, but still.
He used to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Now it's more like 6, but still earlier than the kids so that I have a quiet space. And the idea is to start your day with intention and really to take some time to think and write about who you are and where you might want to go with your career. How did you get to where you are? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? What are your strengths and weaknesses? Your values, the things that you care about? What are your energizers, the things that you love doing? And what do you maybe want to do more of and less of in your career? And then you can use that to start to set a vision for where you want to go in your career. That's like step one in the process, setting that clear vision for where you want to go with the realization, understanding that it could change over time. It's not set in stone, but I find that having something to work towards can be really helpful for us. And then the second step is make a plan and set some specific goals, break that big vision down into smaller goals or milestones and start working towards something. I find that just that process of working towards something is so fulfilling. And we find that we can accomplish so much more than we thought we could just by getting up off the sidelines and starting to work towards something, even if things change over time. Once you have that, you're working towards that. The third step is to start doing things to set yourself up for future success because things are changing all the time. The world of work is changing all the time. So there are 3 things I believe we can always be doing to set ourselves up for future success. Number 1 is investing in continuous learning. Number 2 is building your network. And number 3 is building your personal brand. The learning is obvious. Like we know learning is important, but we often don't make enough time for it. Number 2 is like, right, you hate learning.
All right, well, I don't hate it, but
I know. Some of it gets tedious and school can be more forced learning, but like pick the topics that you're really interested in or you need to learn about and make the time to read books, listen to podcasts, whatever it is. The network is, there's nothing more important. Like going back to you and I meeting in business school and like keeping in touch with people, you never know what it might lead to. A podcast interview 15 years from now, a business opportunity, a job, a friendship, maybe just learning from other people in your space. Yeah. Those things are really important. And then the personal brand is essentially your reputation, what people think and feel about you. And you have that brand, you have that reputation, whether you do anything about it or not. So I'm a big advocate of being intentional. There's a whole chapter in the book about that, and I talk more about that in other sessions. And then the fourth step is building your mindset, which we talked about: ownership mindset, growth mindset, abundance mindset can be really helpful. And then the last step, step 5, is taking ownership of your life and just being willing to pivot and make sure that you're maintaining momentum. Work is not everything. Same, as with career, with life, I think it's important to set goals, to think about where you want to get to, what you want to achieve, and really make sure you're taking care of your health and you're spending time on the things that are most important to you, like family, or travel or hobbies, whatever it is, friends. But make sure you're taking care of your health and you're setting yourself up for long-term success. And then keep iterating on that process. Be willing to pivot along the way. But it all starts with the self-reflection and figuring out where you want to go and then working towards that. And don't forget to ask for help, because we're social, collaborative creatures. We're not meant to do things on our own. So it's important to ask for and give a lot of help along the way. Anything you want to add?
Yeah.
Just sometimes people don't realize how about their life, about how they have a good life or a bad life. Also, they shouldn't say have a bad life or a good life, because that doesn't really exist. But people are like, oh, she's so smart. Oh, look at her. Oh my God, look at her house. That's amazing. Oh, I wish I had that. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
I wish I had that and that and that. And she's so cool. And she's so smart. And I don't have that, and I don't have that. And then they don't pay attention that they don't have that, but they don't pay attention they don't have that, but they have that. But they don't pay attention to
what you already have.
They don't pay attention to if they're, yeah.
Yeah. So comparison is something that we all get stuck into. I wrote a chapter about that in the book as well, because I deal with it all the time as well. We're always looking around what other people have and wondering
at his Instagrams.
Yes, at my Instagram. Why is everybody's life better than mine? Or why are they more successful than me? But
why do they have a cute dog?
Why do they have a cute dog? Our dog is pretty cute. But you can't compare your whole life to somebody else's highlight reel, right? You have to realize that you're not seeing the whole thing. Everybody has challenges. Nobody has it all figured out. And when we really think about it, life is not a competition, right? As far as I know, there's no trophies at the end for having the most money or the best titles or anything like that.
You can't know that you're not dead.
That's
and
true.
I think that you get, depending on how good you were in life, that you get a better hotel room in heaven.
At the end, yeah, it's possible. Never know. But we're all on our own journey, and we really need to focus more on our own improvement, our own growth, our own improvement, not worrying about what other people do. And we can really find a lot more gratitude for what we do have. Even if we want more, if we find gratitude for what we have, then we can be a lot happier with the life that we have today and not worry about what other people have, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that. Perspective taking, avoiding comparison. And I love, just going back a few minutes ago, that you mentioned taking time, quiet time, to kind of reflect and journal. I don't know about you, but this thing is available every time I go, intentionally creating that silence, because you can be distracted 24/7 and never sit with your thoughts. And while it has a lot of benefits, there is so much that can be beneficial by just, reflecting and journaling. And just as you described, that is such powerful advice.
100%.
So I hear you're writing a second book. Can we get a little sneak preview, or is that out of bounds?
No, it's okay. There's a couple in the works. One I've been working on for a while is called Modern Leadership, and it's a guide for corporate managers and leaders to adapt to the new way of working and leading, and make sure that they are doing their best to enable and empower their people to succeed. Really a companion to the Own Your Career, Own Your Life book, to helpful for leaders in supporting their people and owning their careers. Been working on that for a while. Just kind of filling in the gaps with some quotes and things at the end, but I'm really excited about that. And then also working on a potential partnership with someone else on a book on building your personal brand in the corporate space and what that can do to help you with your career. So stay tuned for both of those.
Brilliant. Oh, I'm excited. That is fantastic. Thank you for adding so much value and wisdom. Lucy, this has been fun. Thank you for joining us today. Really appreciate it. Husband Joel and I are hoping to head out to Barcelona at some point in 2024. So it'd be great to meet you in person. If y'all, that would be really special.
Also, hopefully, I'm gonna start my own podcast of stuff about, I don't know, challenges and stuff, and basically his podcast, but better, and with me.
My podcast, but better. Yeah. So,
and with me.
I've been running podcasts for a few years now. Lucy's finally jumping in. She and her brother recorded the first episode for a podcast the other day. I had nothing to do with it. And she did some editing on it and it sounded great. She did not want me to publish it yet, but definitely working on plans for podcasts and books, right?
Yeah,
Rock star. I am so impressed by you, Lucy. That is really cool. I'm excited. I will definitely subscribe and follow.
I'm just trying to do stuff so I don't be like, why didn't I do that? Why didn't I do that? No, I'm
Take
dead.
action.
Why didn't I do that?
You've got a lot of wisdom to add. You're going to help a lot of people, Lucy. That's really, really cool. I'm really glad that we met. But thank you both so much for joining us today. How can folks get a hold of you best?
Well, Amy, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah.
Both of us really, really appreciate it. I look forward to hopefully seeing you in Barcelona later this year.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Everything
One of the things is you can go to his website. You can basically Google anything that has Andy Storch in it because he literally has a website for everything. So
But it's all andystorch.com as the central hub. If you're looking to up-level and take ownership of your career, the book is called Own Your Career, Own Your Life, which is available on Amazon. But you can...
can you give us a sneak peek? What is the next book called?
We just talked about that. It's called Modern Leadership. But you can get
it's called Modern
You can get free resources if you don't want to buy the book by going to ownyourcareerownyourlife.com/bonus. And just put in your email. You can get the 5 steps to owning your career, as well as my morning routine.
If you see any conferences coming up, go to them. They're actually very cool.
There you go.
Cool. We'll mention all of those links are in the comments. Go ahead, Lucy.
Also, as his manager / I kind of create a lot of projects and thingies for him that he's going to put on his website of the thingy that I made for him on Canva. A lot of advertisement and stuff. So if you that to get people to go on to be his clients.
Looking forward to it. Oh my gosh. Thank you both so much. I really appreciate you. Congratulations on your great health, your journey, your success. Looking forward to seeing more and fight on. Appreciate you guys joining us. Talk soon.
Thank you so much, Amy.
Thank you for joining us on another episode of the Secrets to Abundant Living podcast. We hope you found inspiration and valuable insights that will empower you on your journey towards abundance. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback means the world to us, and it helps others discover the secrets to an abundant life too. Stay connected with us on LinkedIn, Amy Silvis. Keep striving for your goals, nurturing your relationships, and embracing the adventure that is life. Until next time, we wish you an abundantly fulfilling day.